Welcome back. The today's topic is about discretization of domain and types of elements in finite element methods. Discretization of domain. Discretization of the domain is the process of subdividing the domain or structure into many number of smaller parts which are called as finite elements. The main purpose of discretization of the domain is due to the following reasons. In general, the most of the engineering problems, the domains have irregular shapes. Hence, the field variables used for the design, such as displacement due to loading, temperature distribution due to heat transfer, they cannot be predicted accurately in all the places of the domain by analytical method. Also, due to irregular shape of the domain, it has infinite number of degrees of freedom which results into the highly complicated and time consuming computational method. That is why the irregular shaped domain is split into convenient number of regular shaped finite elements, and thus the problem is simplified. During discretizations, the shapes, sizes, number, and configuration of the elements have to be chosen carefully such that the original body or domain is simulated as closely as possible without increasing the computational effort needed for the solution. The opposite of discretization is also known as assembling or composing. Finite element method consists of both discretization and assembling of elements. In the process of assembling, the elements are placed back and assembled. Element and its types. The discretized, small sized, and regular shaped parts of the big sized and irregular shaped domain are called as finite elements. These elements are used to build the finite element model. The element selection is highly important in building the proper finite element model. Mostly the choice of the type of the element is decided by the geometry of the body and the number of independent coordinates necessary to describe the system. If the geometry, material properties, and the field variable of the problem can be specified in terms of only one spatial coordinate, then we can use one dimensional or line elements. If the above are described by two spatial coordinates, then two dimensional elements like triangular elements, rectangular elements, and quadrilateral elements can be used. Similarly, for three spatial coordinate description, three-dimensional elements like tetrahedral, hexahedral elements can be adopted. So in this way, so elements can be classified based on a dimension, that is one dimensional element, two-dimensional element, and three-dimensional element. They can be classified based on material elements. So we have two types. First one is the linear element, and the second one it is a non-linear element. It can be also be classified based on degree of freedom. The first one is translational, where you will have 1, 2, or 3 degrees of freedom, and the second one we do have rotational. You can have 1, 2, or 3 degrees of freedom. And elements can also be classified as axisymmetric elements. These are the elements are suitable for the analysis of the problems involving axis symmetry, such as analysis of shafts, cylindrical storage tanks, etc. The next one we do have Lagrange elements and serendipity elements. In Lagrange elements, nodes are in the form of the grids and can be present on the boundaries, as well as elements can have interior nodes also. Whereas serendipity elements, in these elements, nodes are present only along the external element boundaries. And the last type of element we do have iso, sub, and parametric elements. Finite element method is a piecewise approximation method. It means given continuum is being divided into number of smaller regions and the continuum modeled or meshed using suitable regular straight edge element types. But If the given continuum has the curved boundaries, then it is difficult to mesh using regular elements. In such cases, in such cases, elements such as iso, sub, and superparametric elements are used. These elements, they can have straight edge or curved boundaries, and they are developed on the basis of number of shape functions used to define geometry and displacements. Thank you.